Guys, let's have a talk. We have a huge problem. Look at the graph. Less than 5% of you are subscribed to my channel. It doesn't take much to make me happy. How about 1 in 5 of you subscribe right now?
I'm doing it, people. My wife has been having a PA with her co-worker for the past year of this itty quarantine pandemic. D-Day was December 16th when I logged into her computer and opened Facebook Messenger. I tried to get the truth but have been gaslighted for the past month. So today I found messages where the AP is having a meeting with the boss and it didn't sound good. So I texted the boss's number and told him that the AP was having an affair. So hoping he gets fired, and now they told my wife to leave work and go home for the day. I am meeting her now to finally talk, hopefully. I have printouts of all the good Facebook messages that I will show her as evidence. I am shaking, but I feel like this is the first step to get my life back. I'm tired of being the bad guy who is paranoid and gets walked on. Wish me luck. This place has helped me cope and learn to handle this. Thank you. Update. So wife 35 female didn't get fired but was written up for not following COVID protocols in lunchroom and in the office sitting and talking too close, I guess. Her boss during this private meeting told her that she needs to wake the duck up and block this guy. This affair is the only good thing he has ever had. Safe to say he doesn't like him either, and he's the boss of AP 50 male and WS, so big props to him. After paying for one of those whitepages.com people reports, I found out about the AP's wife and learning they were in bankruptcy back in 2018. I made sure to bring that up because it proves his motives and him just turning 50 duck his midlife crisis. I texted and called the AP wife to let her know. She seemed to have expected what was going on but hadn't found any proof. She was such a nice person, didn't MF me but gave me encouragement to try and work on this since they have had troubles for years. As for the wife, she confessed everything and the printouts of all the locations and messages helped me break her down to show I really knew. It started to freak her out, like how can Facebook or her phone always know where she is, lol. She had no clue about Find My iPhone or Google's constant tracking ability. Thank God I work in IT and outsmarted her here. I never gave away how I found out other than saying I had access to all her accounts and nothing is truly hidden or deleted in the internet, so you can't hide anything from me. I gave her a month of asking to tell me the truth and she never did until this bombshell today. Feels good, like I came in swinging, got the victory and lifted the fog for her to see what's going on. Reconciliation, we are starting this path now. Sorry to disappoint, but this is the first time my wife has cheated and we have known each other for 20 years since HS. We have 3 kids all under 5, so we are both playing stick together for them. We have always loved and still had us time all this time. She has just felt disconnected from me due to the kids. But we never fought or really had any arguments. She has blocked him on Facebook, deleted his contact and cell number. She is going to allow me to see her phone when I ask. The one person she didn't want me to tell about this affair was her mother. So I will use this as my leverage. She messes up once, I tell, and maybe I'll show proof too. We will begin counseling soon as she wants to save the marriage as well. Wish us luck. Thanks, everyone on this sub, for the encouragement. Facebook Messenger for their search message feature, and if you know the URL of the chat you can still see messages that were deleted from the app. Also thanks to Google Maps and Google Photos for their tracking and easy accessibility for me to find out everything. Also Apple iMessage to see other messages that were going on. She used this to have someone send work-related things as cover so she could leave. All in all, having access to her personal laptop that had everything signed and made this really easy. 1 month later, I am posting here as I know this place is where people like myself are still trying to keep hope that things will work out in the end. I keep finding my WS still in contact with her AP by trying new ways of messaging apps after I discover them. Now it is a message to AP work phone. The affair ended over a month ago. They do still work together, but WS comes home on time and doesn't go anywhere without telling me first. Both of them couldn't bear to live without being with their kids, so thankfully based on that plus the fact I told the AP wife, both are kept on close tabs. My WS has been remorseful and there have been days this past month of her being depressed and sorry for the hurt. We have 3 kids under 6 and we both have always loved each other this entire time, no fights, just grew apart last year. I know that I should feel in control and because of that I can't be the one to split my family apart. So I am asking for some support on how to deal with this where her actions seem genuine but she will still message the AP about once a week for small talk on things they like, shows, movies, things that started the EA which then became a PA. But since the end, when I find out they are still messaging I will confront her and she will end that app of communication. But they keep finding other ways to keep talking. This is becoming a form of whack-a-mole and I have burned the other ways they talked and I don't want to burn this current one because it will mean likely a new messaging app that I can't easily monitor. Should also say that she will always lie to me first about being in contact until I find out. Do I have to accept that they will remain in contact in order to keep my family together? Do I have to accept that they will still be friends on some level and as long as they don't meet up then it's just talk? Do I have to be oblivious to keep my family intact and not feel the regular anxiety and dread? 3 months later, we had some good days and some bad since that D-Day where she would be depressed and not want to get out of bed. This was her way of mourning the loss of such a close friend. My WS was angry and not speaking to her mom since Jan as well as she called the AP and told him off too. This was my WS believing as if the AP was wrongly made to feel bad about himself and was a good person that no one seemed to understand. Lol. She would get defensive about me looking into her Facebook, iMessage or even tracking her phone. I found out a couple weeks after D-Day that AP had a seizure or something and was in the hospital which meant that my wife contacted him again to check on his health. Then this continued their messaging a few times a week just not using the ways they were already caught. She would get mad when I caught them still in contact using other messaging apps like Signal, GroupMe and even a fake Facebook account. I stayed on high alert for these months based on her behavior and it didn't seem like EA was going to end. They just kept being more secretive. I knew she should be done with work at 4:30 give or take 10-15 minutes, but it was becoming each day until almost 5:30 when she would get home. I got suspicious that she was seeing him after work. Just like when people say to trust your gut you should. So I tracked her car thanks Ford Pass. And her phone starting around 4:30 each day to see if she left the building or the parking lot. Sure enough into the second week my suspicion seemed correct and I saw she was down the street in a school parking lot. I drove the fastest I ever have and caught them both. Put the AP's wife on speaker and she got to hear me telling off both WS and AP. Told my wife we were done and think about where you are going to sleep tonight. Took off my wedding ring and gave it to her. She was devastated and was going to stay the night at her mom's house. I found out from AP wife that my WS tried to contact him a couple hours later. He officially ended it and said to work on your marriage since he's working on his and wouldn't speak to her again. Even AP's wife told her to leave them alone when she tried to call back. My WS was realizing that AP wasn't going to be there for her and I showed her the door as well that night plus couldn't kiss our kids goodnight. She woke up from the fog. That was the one thing I was not doing from the beginning, be harsh and prepared to end it and even show her the door. See if after a night away if they realize what could be lost. She came back home the next day and conveniently enough we had our first MC session. This time I never said that I forgave her but left it up to her to put in the work and I would decide at a later date what I wanted to do. She admitted on her own that what she did was wrong and wanted to work on saving the marriage. Then without my suggestion she scheduled her own IC session and admitted that she needed some help as she had fallen into this horrible trap. Her personality seemed to take a 180 after that confrontation D-Day. She was back to her normal self again, speaking with her mom and agreeing that the AP was really a true boss. She now had nothing nice to say about the AP, she wasn't depressed but relieved. Did not have any more problems of me looking at her phone and whereabouts. Was leaving work at the normal time expected. She just had her first IC session and felt good that she was getting help. Even her sleep was back to normal. Previously in the past couple months she would have to take sleep aid pills almost nightly to fall back asleep. I am glad to say that we are now in actual recovery and going to therapy and counseling. Although I incorrectly thought we were back in Jan, hence the title of this post. Can't believe I fell for the same gaslighting and tricks from someone that supposedly loves you would go to such lengths to lie and deceive their spouse. I'm scheduling my own IC sessions now as well. I definitely feel like I survived a serious trauma and I still have many thoughts of why, how, WTF, and is it really over? But we are making time for each other, whether it's date night, watching TV, listening to music, but it's the reconnecting with activities we hadn't made time to enjoy these past years. She is planning on things for us and the family, even plans for improvements of our house. She is focusing her energy back to the marriage and her family, which is keeping me positive through this.